Here on the night shift. I've been waiting for you, Bob.
How are you?
I have been waiting for you. Folks, here we have our alternate media guy, Bob, who rings us from time to time. And I guess no secret that today your head would be filled with what's really gone on with billionaire pedophile Jeffery Epstein, who's been found dead in jail. Bob, give us some background if you could.
Okay, so I'm going to try and keep it factual because of allegations and stuff. I don't want to get you in trouble. So what happened was he was arrested months ago when a YouTuber by the name of Mike Cernovich managed to get a court case from 2015 or 2012 that was sealed, overturned, and it was unsealed. And in that case was all these accusations of Jeffrey Epstein and these underage girls. Now, the day before Epstein decided to commit suicide, and we'll get to that in a sec, over 1,500 pages of names was listed, and these names are some of the highest names that you could possibly mention. Those names were listed in a unsealing of court documents, and these names are two Democratic governors. The royal family was also implicated.
Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew, yep. Bill Clinton had over 23 different flights and parties with Jeffrey Epstein.
This is to Epstein's private island.
Yes.
On a Boeing 747 that was named the Lolita Express.
Yeah, that's what we called it in the YouTube community. And we've been going after Jeffrey Epstein for years. This is everybody in the YouTube sphere, especially in my sort of sphere, has been talking about this for years, right? Ever since 2015, 2014. Full credit to Mike Cernovich, who actually is an ex-lawyer. He got the court case unsealed, and because of his hard work, this has all came about. Now, there was reports that he was on suicide watch in a prison cell. They've since changed that and claimed that he was no longer in that.
But he had attempted suicide 2 weeks ago.
Exactly, yeah. It was actually about 3 weeks ago. He attempted suicide, and to get off suicide watch, you have to go through, and there has to be a report. And this report is done by a psych evaluation and all those sort of things to say that you are no longer suicidal. Now, also, at the moment that this was all going down, his cell was supposedly monitored. Well, their cameras malfunctioned.
The cameras malfunctioned in his cell. This is a cell. He's not. Yes. He's not out in general population. He's in a cell, and he's tried to commit suicide 2 weeks before.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as this successful attempts, his cameras malfunctioned, and they've even said, the thing that could have proved he did it, unfortunately, the cameras have now malfunctioned, and we don't have that footage. And the previous attempts, they said they ruled it as suicide because there were ligature marks around his neck. But even then, he was saying, people are trying to kill me. He flatly denies that this previous attempt was a suicide. And he said even back then that people were trying to get rid of him. And this is the thing we've been joking about for months, ever since he'd been arrested. We're like, how long before Epstein joins the Hillary body count? Or, how long before someone gets him and bumps him off? Because he knows too much. This is a guy that has some of the richest, most powerful men in the world as friends, and he has...
And clients.
The theory is that he grew his wealth, and this is a theory, through blackmail and coercion of these high-profile people.
And he would offer these high-profile people, for example, sex, and obviously with underage girls on a lot of occasions, that the allegations are that he had that over these people, And the names that you've just mentioned go as high as the royal family, Clinton, and also Donald Trump's name's been mentioned.
Yeah, Trump's connection with Epstein is very flimsy. The media's trying to spin it as, oh, look, Trump's implicated. Trump met Epstein at a party back in 2010, 2005, I think it was actually. It was like 20-plus years ago. Trump was throwing a party. Epstein wasn't actually directly invited. Trump invited one of his friends who brought Epstein. Trump and Epstein got mingling. That's where the footage of him at the party was. They became friends. But shortly after that, Trump threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, which a lot of people now believe it was because of his activities. And even though Trump said on media he's a nice guy, he also then quoted saying, but boy, he likes them young.
Now, in yesterday's Sunday Telegraph,
yes,
there is a story about a woman who is now happily married, leading another life, who now lives in Cairns.
Yes.
And she claims that she was one of the young girls. There's a photo of her as a young girl that was taken to this island owned by Jeffrey Epstein, and she was used as almost a sex slave, as she was offered to high-profile people. Have you read the article?
I haven't read the article, but I'm familiar with the details because this is something we've been going after for years.
Yeah. And she claims that she was used for sex. And it's a remarkable story. She now, as I said, lives in Cairns in the gated community. It's just extraordinary how this guy got away with it for so long. But if he's been using blackmail and using these high-profile people, maybe we shouldn't be surprised. Now what the conspiracy theorists are tweeting, Bob, is that he hasn't committed suicide, that he was either killed off by one of Clinton's people, or that the FBI or the CIA or both have spirited him away.
Yeah.
And that he's not actually dead, and that he's got a new identity. That people.
Whitsec.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I've heard the Whitsec. Someone actually, because I put a video up about this last night. As soon as I found out about it, actually, someone they commented saying that they believe he's in Whitsec. To be honest, look, if he's in Whitsec, that's probably the best option that you could have, because then we still have a chance of taking down some of these very rich and powerful men who have these proclivities, and that's the biggest loss. If Epstein, look, I don't believe he committed suicide.
You don't?
No way, no. There's two things, right? One, he committed suicide, and the MCC, which is the jail, the prison, is severely incompetent. They released a guy that was suicidal back to his private cell. They gave him all the means and necessary for him to commit suicide. And while he was doing it, the cameras just magically decided to stop working. Or someone has gone through and has set this up and got rid of him because he knows too much. And with his with him previously saying they're trying to kill me and everything like that from the previous attempts, I would be very surprised if he decided to commit suicide. But that said, I don't necessarily think it's the Clintons. Look, I'm not Hillary's biggest fan. I've made that public. But I think this is even above her pay grade. If someone has orchestrated this to get rid of him, this is coming from someone that is like, for example, the palace, the royal family, someone that is the top 1%ers of America, someone that has a lot of money and has a lot of pull. And this, I think, is, to be honest, is above Hillary Clinton. The Hillary Clinton body count thing is more of a meme because there seem to be a lot of people that suicide around Hillary. But yeah, I think it's more of, I think it's someone higher up. I think it's someone that's one of the top 1%ers of the world sort of thing.
Wow, there you are. And the conspiracy theories will continue to grow, churn and burn today, folks. Jeffrey Epstein's strange death and the anger and the conspiracy theories surrounding it today, well, they'll just continue. Thank you very much for your time, Bob.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The one thing that we have going for us is that the people that have been working on this for years, we're not going to let it go. We're going to continue with finding out. So I don't think the FBI is going to figure it out. I don't think they still haven't any idea of the motive of the Vegas shooting. I think if this is going to be broken, it's going to be done by someone on YouTube. Mike Cernovich, myself, someone like that. So, look, yeah, I think at the end of the day that this is far from over, and it's shine a light on more on these names, these 1,500 pages. So now everybody's coming through those names, and it's the Streisand effect. They've given it more public. Yeah, no one believes that. Yeah, very few people believe he committed suicide.
Yeah.
So.
All right, yeah. Bob, thank you for keeping us up to date. Can you keep us informed?
Oh, of course, mate. Of course.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. We call him Bob. He's our alternate media guy, and he looks beneath the top level of news and looks underneath. And he's been a friend of the program since we started. He's an interesting character. There you are. And he's been on this Jeffery Epstein case for a long time now. And with the alleged death, because there are people who are saying he's not dead, that he's been spirited away and being given witness protection somewhere. There are plenty of people who, I don't think many people believe he's committed suicide.